Hey, this is Zero at ReviewZoneHD, and I'm bringing you a first impressions of Spongebob Squarepants Plankton's Robotic Revenge for the PlayStation 3. And this is one rootin' tootin' craptastic game, or as Charles Barkley would say, this one is terrible. I played through the first few stages, and for the first time this year, I'm cutting this one off and taking it right back up to GameStop to salvage whatever credit that I can get for it. This one's not going to be getting a review because I would rather get beaten with a bag of oranges for the rest of today than play this game anymore. And this is all coming from somebody that really enjoys the SpongeBob television show. I own all the seasons that have been out on DVD, so I would consider myself at least somewhat of a SpongeBob fan, but it is important to point out that this game is a $30 budget title, and it's also important to point out that I did enjoy playing the last SpongeBob game, which was Truth or Square on the Xbox 360. I did a full walkthrough for it about 5 months ago on my Cars to Infinity HD channel. Now that game released in 2009 and in my opinion is a much better SpongeBob game hands down. Graphically, this one looks like a PlayStation 2 game with slightly better coloring than what you would find on a PS2 title, but the level design for the first 3 stages is just awful. The same enemy types are heavily overused, and everything about this game just feels very generic, cheaply made, rushed, and uninspired. And I would blame it on a movie license where they're trying to beat the clock before a movie comes out, but there is no SpongeBob movie hitting the theaters anytime soon, so I don't understand what happened to this game. It also doesn't feel very polished. There was cutscenes that had no background music, which was very odd because a character would spit out a line of dialogue and then the game would just go absolutely silent, just flat for a moment before somebody else would speak.
Hard to believe that tiny plankton could do so much damage.
Not so hard, really, when you realize you're dealing with a powerful intellect like mine. You see, I owe it all to these Energon power cells. They are a source of unlimited power. Using these babies, Karen was able to build me this freaky robot battlesuit and an entire robot army.
I didn't experience any camera issues on the first 3 stages, but it did seem like the camera could be a bit of an issue going forward because of some of the angles that it would take. But either way, no matter if it is or isn't a problem later, it's not really going to matter because the game just quite frankly isn't that entertaining or pleasing to look at to begin with. I could have looked past the PlayStation 2 era graphics and the soundtrack issues if the gameplay was actually fun, but this one is just all around a poor excuse for a budget title, even at $30. And even if this game miraculously does get better later on in some of the later stages, it starts off with such a thud that it would be very difficult to look past just how bad it opens up. Now, I've played some pretty shabby games this year and I've never backed away from doing a review on one of them, because a bad game that isn't worth playing can usually make for some entertaining reviews, but I just don't have the patience or the time this week to suffer through this one. So there you go, a quick first impressions, and if my point wasn't clear enough, I would strongly recommend steering clear of this one, even if you're a SpongeBob fan, or even once it lands in the $15 bargain bin in a few weeks, I still wouldn't recommend it. If you're a trophy hunter thinking about it, just don't do it. This is Zero at ReviewZoneHD, and as always, thanks for stopping by. Meow.